Good morning all of you. Now I am going to teach you one of the most important topic. That topic name is semiconductor devices. So in semiconductor devices you will get two questions, even in IIT and NEET. Okay, right. So keep the heading semiconductor devices. Semiconductor devices. Semiconductor devices. Semiconductor devices. Now, what is a semiconductor, that we have to see. So, according to atomic theory, every substance should be made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms, and atoms are made of microatoms like electrons, protons, neutrons. The central part of the atom is called nucleus. The central part of the atom is called nucleus. That nucleus contains protons and neutrons. Protons have positive charge and there is no charge for neutron. So charge of proton, that is equal to plus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. So this is the charge of proton. Now electrons are revolving around the nucleus with their certain orbits according to the electronic configuration, like 1s2, 2s2, 2 pieces. For example, it is s orbital, it has 2 electrons. So similarly for p orbital it has 6 electrons, like that. Now the outermost orbit of the atom is called valency orbit, and the electrons which are exist in the outermost orbit are called valency electrons. I will repeat, the outermost orbit of the atom is called valency orbit. This is valency orbit. The electrons which are exist in this valency orbit are called valency electrons. Valency electrons. Now these valency electrons are loosely packed with the nucleus. Why? Because here protons are there, here electrons are there. Electron have negative charge. The charge of an electron is equal to minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Means magnitude is same only. So here protons are there, here electrons are there. Between them force of attraction is there. So that force of attraction will be act as a centripetal force. With that centripetal force, these electrons are revolving around the nucleus with their certain orbits. But these electrons are loosely packed with the nucleus. Why? Because the force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. As the distance increases, force will decrease. So similarly, the electrons which are nearer to the nucleus are closely packed with the nucleus, means tightly bond with the nucleus. But the electrons which are far away from the nucleus, they are weakly or lightly bonded with the nucleus. So if you give some energy to this electron, that electron will jump from one orbit to the other orbit. So that electrons will jump from one orbit to the other orbit, and one atom to the other atom, or becomes as a free electrons. So these are becomes as a free electrons which causes the flow of current. Why? Because current I is equal to rate of flow of charge, that is nothing but Q by T, that is equal to N into E by T. What is N? Number of electrons, and what is E? Charge of an electron. So number of electrons into charge of electron divided by time period, that will give you the current. So like that we are getting current. Okay, so we are getting current due to this valency electrons only. Now the region where these valency electrons are existed, the region or locus where these valency electrons are exist is called valency band. Valency band. So valency band is the imaginary region or locus where the valency electrons are exist. Now conduction band. So the region where the free electrons are exist, the region or locus where the free electrons are exist is called conduction band. So this is the valency band and it is the conduction band. I will repeat. What is the valency band means? The region or locus where the valency electrons are exist is called valency orbit. And conduction band, or it is valency band and conduction band. Conduction band is nothing but the region where the free electrons are exist is called conduction band. Now the gap between these two bands is called forbidden energy gap Eg. So Eg we call it is as a forbidden forbidden energy gap. So this is the forbidden energy gap. So what is the forbidden energy gap means? This is the gap between the valency band and conduction band. What is the valency band? I will repeat. The region or locus where the valency electrons are exist, outermost electrons are exist. What is the conduction band? It is the region or locus where the free electrons are exist. The gap between these two will give you the forbidden energy gap. Based on this forbidden energy gap, substances are classified into three types. Based on this forbidden energy gap, substances are classified into three types. They are number one, first one, conductors. So first one is the conductor. So see the first one. So first one is the conductor. It is the conductor. So in case of conductors, there is no gap between this valency band and conduction band. Suppose it is the valency band and it is the conduction band. So valency band and conduction band both are overlap with each other. So these two are overlap with each other. So there is no gap between valency band and conduction band, means forbidden energy gap Eg is equal to 0, means that electrons are freely moving from valency band to conduction band simply. So that valency electrons are moving from valency band to conduction band freely without giving any energy. So forbidden energy gap is 0. So these are the conductors. Example for these conductors are gold. Gold is the best conductor. Gold, aluminum, okay, silver, gold, aluminum, iron, all these are related to the conductors. Okay, so in case of conductors, there is no gap between this valency band and conduction band. Any doubt? Right. Now, insulators. For insulators, there is a large gap in between the valency band and conduction band. So for insulators, there is a large gap in between the valency band and the conduction band. This is the conduction band and is the valency band. So in the valency band you have the valency electrons. So this forbidden energy gap Eg is much greater than 1.5 electrovolts. Much greater than 1.5 electrovolts. So we are not having that much energy to boost the electron from valency band to conduction band. So this much of energy we are unable to give you to boost the energy to boost the electron from valency band to conduction band. So no flow of current through the insulators. So current I is equal to 0. Example for these insulators are rubber, dry wood, glass, all these are related to the insulators. Okay, right. Insulator, glass is also will act as a insulator. Right. Next to semiconductors. For semiconductors, there is a small gap in between the valency band and conduction band. See here, so this is the valency band and it is the conduction band. So this is the valency band and it is the conduction band. So a small gap is there. This forbidden energy gap Eg is approximately equal to 1.6 electrovolts to 1.8 electrovolts. 1.6 electrovolts to 1.8 electrovolts. If you do this much of energy, then electrons will jump from valency band to conduction band. So valency band to conduction band, and this semiconductor will be act as a conductor. Otherwise, it will be act as a insulator. So if you give some energy, this much of energy, then this semiconductor will be act as a conductor. Otherwise, it will be act as a insulator. So these are the three types of substances, and these three substances we are explaining in the form of forbidden energy gap, or based on the forbidden energy gap, substances are classified into three types. Okay, so till here you have any doubt? Right. So example for the semiconductors. Example for semiconductors, we have only two semiconductors. So those are in fourth group elements. In fourth group elements, we have two semiconductors. Those are silicon and germanium. So fourth group elements like silicon and germanium are called pure type semiconductors. These are called pure type semiconductors. So in pure type semiconductor means in silicon and germanium we have only 4 valency electrons. Total 4 valency electrons are there. So if you give some energy, these 4 electrons will jump from this valency band to conduction band. So and it will be act as a conductor. But you know the current I is nothing but N into E by T, means if number of electrons will increase, current also will increase. So here we have only 4 electrons. 4 electrons means very small amount of current will pass. Is it correct or not? So because of that, to make a more amount of free electrons, we go for doping. So those semiconductors are called extrinsic semiconductors or impure type semiconductors. So we call it, these are the pure type semiconductors or intrinsic semiconductors. These are called intrinsic semiconductors. So these are the intrinsic semiconductors. Pure type semiconductors or intrinsic semiconductors. What are the intrinsic semiconductors? These are 4th group elements like silicon and germanium. So these two are called pure type semiconductors. So in pure type semiconductors we have only 4 electrons in valency band. If you give energy, only 4 electrons will jump from this valency band to conduction band, means very minor amount of current will pass through this pure type semiconductor, which is not utilized, which is to be negligible. So because of that, we go for doping. So we go for doping to increase the current. Any doubt regarding this? So these two are called intrinsic semiconductors. Now we go for extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic semiconductors are impure type semiconductors. So what are the extrinsic semiconductors? That we have to see. Okay. So now doping of this semiconductor, that we have to see. Till here no doubt. Okay. Right. Now we can see. Suppose extrinsic semiconductors, we have 2 types of extrinsic semiconductors or impure type. So impure type semiconductors. We have 2 types of impure type semiconductors. Number 1, first one is the positive type and P type semiconductors. P type semiconductors are positive type semiconductors. What are positive type semiconductors? Means by doping this 4th group element to the 3rd group element. By doping 4th group element to the 3rd group element, we will get the P type semiconductor. So how you get? For example, in 3rd group element you have the gallium. So for gallium you have only 3 valency electrons. For silicon you have 4 electrons. So these two make the covalent bond with each other. Similarly, you take silicon. These two make the covalent bond with each other, and it is the silicon. These two make the covalent bond with each other, and it is the silicon. You know, for silicon you have 4 valency electrons. Silicon have 4 valency electrons like this. But to make the covalent bond here, but gallium doesn't have the electron. Is it correct or not? So because of that, here hole will create. Now any electron from outside will come to make the covalent bond. If electron will come here, displacement of electron is nothing but hole, means hole will create. I will repeat. Here hole is there. Why? Because gallium has 3 valency electrons. 3 valency electrons means this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 3 over. Now to make the covalent bond, here space is there. So in this hole any electron will come to make the covalent bond. Displacement of electron, suppose this electron will come from here to here, here hole will create. Means holes are majority carriers. Holes are nothing but positive. So because of that, this is called P-type semiconductors. So in case of P-type semiconductors, number 1, how we get the P-type semiconductor means by doping 4th group element to the trivalent group. Okay. So by doping 4th group element to 3rd group element, we will get P-type semiconductor. In case of P-type semiconductor, holes are majority charge carriers. Majority charge carriers. Holes are majority charge carriers, and electrons are minority charge carriers. Holes are majority charge carriers and electrons are minority charge carriers. So holes have positive charge, because of that we call these are the P-type semiconductors. Any doubt? Right. So ఇక్కడ వరకు రాస్తారా? నేను చెప్తా రాసుకోండి. ఫ్యాన్